Hey y'all, welcome back to Alley Cat Customs. Man, this year has been insane. So many trials and tribulations and so much trouble for everybody. I'm just so glad it's over with. You know, I had big plans to make a whole lot of videos, bring to y'all and show y'all a bunch of adventures that I had planned for 2020. And just like everybody else, my plans have been all kind of screwed up like everybody else was this year, I'm sure. But I wanted to make this video to show y'all what I actually did get accomplished this year. And I hope y'all stick around and enjoy it because it's been one heck of a ride. So y'all stick around, coming right at you. So I started this year off just like I have many in the past, going to the Car Extravaganza, which is an indoor event held at the Trademark Building in Jackson, Mississippi. It's a 3-day-long event, and there's usually 100 or so cars there. And this year, as usual, it was a packed house, and so it was a lot of fun. You get to see everything from really nice show cars, and all the way to your weekend bracket racing guys, all the way up to like the extremely exotic race cars. So it's got something for everybody. We've had our mud bogs and rock crawling vehicles in there before, and so I've always had fun there. And I actually won a trophy, which is always fun. And this old beater with the big block is to bring home a trophy from a car show. It just always makes me happy. But it was bittersweet because that was the last event that they held in that building, and the company that I work for is actually demolishing that building, and as of right now, it is just a slab, and it's about to be a grass field by the time we're done with it. But it was really nice to go out with a bang, winning a trophy at that car show, just like I have with some other trucks in the past that you can see is my old Toyota rock crawlers and stuff that I've had in the past there. So that was fun. Nice to wrap up that show and wrap up the tenure of the Car Extravaganza held in that building. They got a new building across the parking lot, so can't wait for next year. They've already canceled this one because of the COVID, so it'd be nice to next year if we can have that event to usher in a new era of the Car Extravaganza. So maybe we'll see, but on to the next adventure. So after the car show was finished with, I had plans to work on the truck, so I put it in the shop and I started working on it. And I did a carburetor swap, which I made a video of, and the plan was to take it to the first test and tune session of the season at the drag strip. And in the meantime, my late wife's family, they come down every year. They're from Minnesota, so they come down to try to get away from the frozen tundra of Minnesota, come down here, and they always stop by and see them every winter, and it's always a blast to see them. It's always so much fun to be able to spend some time with them, go out to eat, and just be with them for a little while. So the plan was if they come down, they was going to hang out at the track, and they had never been to the drag strip with me. They've never seen the truck race, so it was going to be nice to be able to let them see it, make a few passes, and maybe even get to take them down the track with me. So they showed up and went to take it down the track. We had a good time hanging out with everybody else. But the first pass of 2020, right out the gate, lined up, and I come off the trans brake, I broke the locker, and I'll show it to you right here, right now. Alright, so when that breaks, that's over with. Ain't nothing I can do about that. Can't fix it. I made another pass to see if it was just a fluke, because with a lunchbox style locker, the little teeth in them, the way they're set up, I just thought maybe I just didn't have it engaged good, but it failed again. So I made 2 passes, broke both passes. I couldn't make a good launch. So we loaded on the trailer. We hung out for another hour or so, and her family, her parents went down south to the Mississippi Gulf Coast for the week, come back, and we had a wedding planned, so it was a full week and a half that they spent coming to see me at the track, and then on the way back, headed northbound to the frozen tundra, they went to my best friend's wedding. So it was a great time seeing them. But I had to hurry up and get this truck back to the shop to work on it because I had more projects. And of course, right off the bat, I broke it. So I was already ordering parts and had them sitting there waiting on me when we got done with the wedding to get started working on it. So it is what it is. It's 2020. All right, so while all this was going on, I was actually working out of town. So only having the weekend to work on the truck, it made it an extra challenge. So the day after I broke the rear end, I actually pulled the cover off and inspected the damage. So that week I ordered parts, and then the following week was a wedding. So the very next weekend I came home and I was going to film me putting the spool in the truck, and I mounted the slicks. I bought a set of Mickey Thompson Pro Bracket radial slicks to put on the truck. So I got all that done and did it all in a weekend and doing the best I can to film, which if anybody's ever tried to film, especially trying to film yourself by yourself, it's nuts. And I did it all the weekend, so it's really proud that I got that done. I was just glad to get all the work done and have it done and ready to drive before I went out of town the next week. So I got that done, and the following week, 3 weeks later after I broke it, was another race, and I made it just in time, got off of work and headed to the track. And I was so amped up. I had traction, and I didn't have to worry about the locker. So my cousin and friends showed up, and it was a nice and cold day. It actually turned out pretty cold, but we hoped that the track was going to be good and hooked up. And went out there and staged up, and the first pass I made on that truck, man, those slicks were hooked up. I mean, it was a night and day difference between the old tires. And it felt like a great pass, made the pass, and on the return road, I started seeing water coming up on the windshield of the truck. Uh-oh. Pulled around to the pits, popped the hood up, and it split the radiator. Our cheap parts store, aluminum with the plastic tank, split the radiator. Day was done. I made one pass. All that work just made one pass. Ended up being the fastest pass the truck had ever made. I ran an 870, so I was really happy, and I knew that I had to fix that. So loaded it back on the trailer and headed back to the house. I actually had, in the meantime, I was getting ready to build a 454 to replace the 396. The 396 that was in it had gotten tired. I mean, it was puking oil and fouling plugs. It was just a mess. So I went ahead and pulled the 396 out because I was going to use some of the parts off of the 396 on the 454 because it was an extreme budget build. And when the radiator went out, I checked the oil and stuff. When I drained the oil, I actually had some metal shavings in the pan. So I got nervous when I pulled the motor out of the truck. So as you can see in these pictures and stuff, I just went ahead and dove in and started building the 454. It is a stock bottom end from a camper. I didn't touch anything on the bottom end other than putting in a mild solid lift cam. It's actually a 454 LS6 retro cam, the old muscle car style cam. So it's not that big, especially I bought the cam before I bought the aluminum heads. The original plan was to use the peanut port heads and that cam. But I got the heads from a coworker. He kind of strong-armed me, and when he showed me the heads and they were as good a shape as they was, I couldn't say no. So I went ahead and bought them. So I don't have enough cam for the heads, but the motor runs great. It looks great. And 250 pounds or so lighter on the front end, I'll take it. And as you can see, I really enjoyed fixing the motor up. And as I was getting it together, and you can see all the glamour shots, that motor was, I was absolutely in love with that motor when I got it ready to put back in the truck. Everything from the chromed aluminum valve covers with Alicat Customs, a friend of mine made those stickers, and that's the color that was one of Ali's favorite colors, was that teal green, and of course had the Chevrolet engine orange sticker. So after taking all the glamour shots, I had to pull all the shiny parts off the motor and get it ready to install in the truck. So I got all that stuff taken off, got it put in the truck, and my good friend James came over and he helped me break the cam in, and cam broke in just fine on the first try. Didn't have any issues with it. Had oil leak and some other random stuff, but got the motor put together, got it in the truck, and made my first test hit with the truck. Went to town and everything right off the bat. Didn't have any troubles with it. Went and got some fuel, come back, and one of the neighbor kids down the road saw me coming back with the truck and knew it, and I put the motor in it. So he pulled over and filmed me down there on my test pad on the side of the road. So of course, right off the bat, I hadn't put 10 miles on the motor, and I put it on the trans brake and launched it. Had a whole lot more power than ever, and it got slapped stupid on the side of the road. So I was really thrilled to get it put on the trailer, put the slicks on it, and take it to the track. So that's just what we did. A couple weekends later, ended up taking it to the track, and it was just another adventure. All right, so it took a little while between the time I actually got the motor running to the time that I actually took it to the track. After the first initial kung flu scare, with everything being shut down, the tracks finally opened up. People got to where we can actually get out and about and do things. So we decided to get ready to go to the track. So I loaded the truck up and I headed to the track for my first shakedown run, and I was so ecstatic, just ready to go. And I had my cousin and a couple friends show up, and I get to the track and get the truck unloaded and get ready to make my first pass with the new motor. And matter of fact, I made 2 identical passes, back to back, 8.06. I mean, almost like copy and pasted on my passes. I was really excited about that. But on the flip side, as we was unloading the truck, I slipped in the grass and finished tearing my ACL right there on the grass at the track. My cousin helped get me up off the ground and put my knee back in place so I could stand up. And my cousin and a friend of mine, Peter, actually helped me set the tire pressure on the truck. He got me put in the truck, and they checked the truck out because I was in so much pain I couldn't do anything. But I knew if I left that track, it was going to be a long time before I come back, so I was going to make them passes hell or high water. So that's just what I did. I got in the truck, belted in, pulled up there and made them 2 passes, and I got out of the truck and let my cousin load the truck on the trailer, and they strapped the truck down, and I made a 2.5-hour journey with my knee swollen up the size of a softball off the side of my knee to head back to the house. And I spent almost 4 weeks out of work, and another month after that working partial days and stuff as I got to where I could actually get back up and move. I got a brace for my knee and went back to work doing rehab and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm going to need surgery on it, and as soon as all the craziness goes away, hopefully I can get in and get surgery and get my knee put back together. But it took me a while. It took a while to get back to where I could go back racing. So finally they had a big event and I was headed to it. So after doing a good bit of rehab on my knee, I felt confident enough in it to where I could actually go to the track and race. So I was waiting on the next big event they had so I could go. I'd already been working and stuff, so I knew that my knee was going to be okay, or I hoped that it was going to be okay to be able to go and race and have a good time. They had a foot brake race. Well, I've never raced this truck off the foot brake. Ever since I got the trans brake, that's what I've done, and trying to break a race and stuff. So it was quite interesting to make sure that I could do my feet right with my knee without causing any kind of trouble with my knee, because it was still pretty fresh on injury. So, but it was $1,500 purse, and with a free entry, I wasn't going to turn that down. So my buddy James helped me load the truck up on the trailer, and we headed to the track and had a blast. It was a big turnout. And I actually raced pretty far. I got put out in the 4th round by the eventual race winner. So I thought that was pretty good. The guy put me out. It was a lot of fun trying to get the truck to do right on the foot brake. I actually just rolled up there and I left off idle. That was the best way I could think to to try to be anywhere close to accurate on the tree. So I did that, and I made like 10 or 11 passes through for the night. And it was, I mean, that's the most passes. I had more passes than I'd made all season long. It was a really good night, had a lot of fun, even though I did get put out. I didn't get to win any money or nothing like that. I made it to the 4th round on the first actual race I made. So I took that as a personal win. Loaded the truck back up on the trailer, and I was so happy with the truck the way it was running. I checked it out on the trailer the next day, and it looked good, so I just left it on the trailer because we had more races scheduled. So I left it on the trailer and waited for the next race. Unfortunately though, after that race, it seemed like every week or every other week there was a hurricane or a tropical storm coming into the Gulf of Mexico, coming up here. There was some really bad storms that come through, and it caused a lot of damage. And you know, up here as far north as we are, we got some damage from the storms and all in different areas, but it just canceled every race over and over and over. So my truck just sat on the trailer from, that was the middle of August. I just left it on the trailer until the end of September, and I had to get it ready and change the tires over and get the truck ready for the next event, which was cruising the coast. So end of September rolls around, I got the truck off the trailer and swapped the tires around. You can see I did a little burnout in the shop. When I put the truck in the shop, I was pretty excited about getting the truck back running. So got the truck ready to go and loaded up to head to cruising the coast. And for the second year in a row, I took my mom for the whole week-long event. And of course, going to cruising the coast, yet another hurricane was threatening the Gulf of Mexico and threatening the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So there was a lot of people that either didn't go, or they was going for the first part of the week and they was going to leave early. I kept a close eye on the radar, and I kept watching and just praying that the storm would stay west or tear itself apart or something, so we could spend some time at the coast and stuff. It's always a good time down there. And we made it all the way until the storm finally come ashore Friday night. And as far east as we are from where the storm made landfall, all we did was get an outer rain band, but it was a pretty good punch. Me and my mom, who stayed in the hotel, and we were right there on the water, so we were getting all that blast from the wind and stuff. And it rained and stormed, and the wind blew so hard that our power went out, and fire alarms were going off because the power going on and off was tripping the fire alarms. So we was up half the night dealing with the wind blowing and carrying on. The next morning, we got up, and there wasn't any real damage around us. So we got up and made it to the next car show, which was at Ocean Springs in Mississippi on the coast. And when we pulled out onto US 90, it looked like it snowed. There was so much sand going, and you can see in the video, I got a little short video of me going down 90, just how bad that wind was. And that was just an outer rain band. That wasn't a direct hit. So I'll show it to you right here. All the sand on the road down here in Biloxi. Woo! Man, that right there, you can't even see where the lanes are hardly. So after seeing that, we knew that the weekend was pretty much going to be over with, and we made it to Ocean Springs. And for the first couple of hours, there was not a lot of people showing up, but finally the crowds got there, and it was a really good time. But me and my mom had already decided that we was going to leave a day early from the coast, so we'd already packed up that morning and had everything in the truck. So we left the Ocean Springs car show, and we loaded the truck on the trailer and headed back north, back home. And put a wrap on the 2020 Cruising the Coast event, and the truck did pretty good. It did on the way back to load it on the trailer. The electric water pump did fail, so it was a good thing that we had already planned to cancel the trip or end the trip early. So it wasn't a big deal. Got the truck loaded on the trailer and come back home to fix it. So hopefully I can make another race, and that's exactly what I did. So after Cruising the Coast was over with, I got the truck put back in the shop, and I did a little work to it. And actually what I did was I pulled the mechanical water pump off of the 396 and put it on the 454 because I was in a hurry to go to another race the following weekend at the track. But yet again, another race got canceled due to rain. So here I am, got the truck sitting in the shop and I'm waiting. And they had one last race scheduled for the season. So I was chomping at the bit because I haven't actually made a good race in this truck. And I haven't yet to do a shakedown run and really see how fast the truck is. I hurt my knee May 30th. And in that race, that day I made 2 passes in the truck. And both of them I ran an 8.06 pass in the 8th mile. And when I went and did the foot brake racing, I never raced it on the trans brake that whole night. So I didn't really know how fast the truck could go, and I didn't even do any testing or tuning. I just wanted to try to make the truck run as consistently as I could because it was a bracket race. So I hadn't run the truck, and it rained and rained and rained. So that last race, I was putting everything on it to try to make that race. Get to the track, and the weather just isn't looking good at all. So I knew I was going to be able to make some test passes. So I tuned on the truck. But the weather was terrible. I mean, it was almost water in the air. It was just misting. Not on the track. The track surface was pretty good, but the weather just wasn't cutting it. So I went out there and made a few passes, and actually got down to run a 8.08 was the fastest I ran that day. And you can see a couple passes I made and see just how bad it looked out there at the track, right here. So as you can see, the truck hooks up pretty good. It launches good. It runs good. But I didn't make a 7-second run in the truck, and it was kind of an unwritten goal I had. And as the season progressed, it became more and more. I wanted to make a 7-second run in the truck, and you know, it happens. This year's been crazy, and I fought hard all year long to try to make a run in this truck, and it just kept beating me down. This whole year's been crazy, but here it is. It's the end of 2020, getting ready to go into 2021. So as you can see, I got the truck sitting on the lift right now, and I'm doing some winter upgrades to it, getting ready for the 2021 race season. And hopefully I can get back out there to track, and hopefully this season I can actually make some races. Lord willing and weather permitting, I'll get out there and make some more passes and have some more fun in the truck. And I got a few upgrades to show you that I want to make some videos of what I'm doing to the truck, getting ready for this race season. So I hope y'all stick around, and I hope y'all have enjoyed this video, and come back to check out some more. But right now, I got some work to do on the truck, so I'm about to get done with this video here and get started on the truck. So I'll catch y'all in the next video. Oh, and I'll make a 7-second pass one way or the other. Y'all have a good one.